Greetings, dear viewers. We are happy to see you on one of the most interesting live conversations about creative society. For those who have joined us for the first time, I would like to remind that Creative Society is a unique global project which has been initiated by participants of ALLATRA International Public Movement from all parts of the world. The goal of the project is to transform our current consumer society into a creative one, purely by peaceful means and in the shortest time possible. We call creative society such a society in which every single person in the world have completely everything necessary for living, would feel safe and comfortable, valued and loved, would live in a way a true human deserves. And to learn more about this project, you can visit allatraunites.com. My name is Olga, and my co-host is also Olga today. Olga?
Greetings everyone, and let me please introduce you our special guest from Gambia, and it is the Prince of Igbo Amaka Empire and ancient African ancestral line. It is Dr. J.J. Robinson. He is the founder of Internet Village and ambassador of a Global Citizen Platform, chairman at Saint Foundation Global, and graduate of the University of the Universal God, a professor with African indigenous education. Welcome, Dr. J.J. Robinson. We are happy to have you today with us. Thanks for joining, accepting our invitation.
Oh, these titles for me. Thank you very much for
anything you provided, we found about you. And so what can you add about yourself?
It means you really studied me very well to know all that. That is amazing. That's a good one. Thank you. You have already introduced my personality. I appreciate that. Well, my real names are Joseph Jobril NwaChinemelum Robinson. I am from the Igbo tribe of Nigeria, and also the same tribe is called Benin Empire from the African ancestors, and the Malian Empire as well for the Gambian ancestors. So I am universally mixed from Nigeria and Gambia. And like you have said, I am the founder and the chief executive of the Internet Village. It's an online e-commerce business and job solution for mobile and laptop users. Hopefully, it's launching in December, and it's a multi-billion-dollar company when it launched. Thank you very much for having me. I'm delighted to be part of the Creative Society organization. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. And could you tell us what motivates you in your life, in everything you do?
What motivates me is the stories of my ancestors. Some people don't like to hear this. Some Black people don't like to hear this, but it's okay. Everyone has their choice of what they want to listen to. But what motivates me and keep me going are my ancestors. Reason is because I operate with what I call the indigenous knowledge. Indigenous knowledge is the knowledge that is not filtered with the Western knowledge. This is not a racist word. This is just the way Africans have been before the arrival of the colonials. My generation has not patronized the Western culture 100% because we kept what we call the indigenous, ancestral ways of living, natural ways of living, the original ways of living. So this is what motivates me every day. The reason why it motivates me is because not many people are living just like me. We are just few of us that still retain the ancestral clan. So when I wake up every day, I read messages from my inspirators, Chinua Achebe. I read messages from Pete Edochie in Nigeria. I read messages from Yaya Jammeh, my former president. I read messages from Kwame Nkrumah. I read messages from Shaka Zulu. I read messages from these great ancestors and also these ones living. For instance, a lot of our indigenous ancestors are still living with us today in a human form. So when some people hear this kind of observations from me, they don't get it. They used to think, oh, this man is crazy. But it's normal because we live differently from my own status of life. So this is how I have trained my children and everyone around me to maintain the indigenous culture. This does not stop them from emulating the Eurocentric ways of living. It doesn't stop them. Actually, what it does is this. It keeps our traditions and cultures while also we tap into the diverse cities. We tap into the other systems. But first, we have to know our true colors, where we come from. So this is what motivates me every day of my life. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your answer. And you traveled a lot. You communicated with many people from different fields, from different countries. Could you tell us what unites all people in the world, regardless of nationality, religion, social status, and so on? What do we all have in common?
It's a lot. It's a huge question you just thrown. But one thing that unites all mankind is the universal values. I think the universal values unite all of us. One thing that is trying to unite mankind is the English language. Right now, you are in Ukraine, you can speak English. I am speaking English. I'm an Igbo man, I speak English. You have your culture, but you speak English. Everybody from all over the world speaks English. If we can have that one common language, everybody can be united because we can understand each other. That's number one. Number two is kindness to mankind. We have to be kind to everyone. That is another way that we can be united. Because if some people are not in accordance with some people, kindness will not be there. Number three is love. We need love to be in unity. And love can unite the whole world. So there are a lot of factors that can unite us. And also, internet is playing a global goal. Internet is another thing. Right now, I'm in Gambia speaking to you. You are in Ukraine and she's in Europe. Internet is trying to unite the world as well. So there are so many factors that can unite the world. But if we all can come together and work in one common goal, then this world will be a better place for all. Through this global skills that we are applying through the creative society is ambitious. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it's like you described external factors and internal factors. So internally, we all united by kindness to each other and love. And externally, of course, the latest technologies and knowing the universal language, we can speak to each other and communicate. And this is really great. This is actually great opportunities we have nowadays.
Yeah, but we just need to use these technologies to unite and to use these, as Olga said, external tools to realize what unites us all internally. Because like kindness doesn't really have words. You will understand kindness even if you don't know English. When I come to Gambia, I am sure I will understand kind attitude of people around me, even if we don't find this this language. And talking about the one goal that can unite people. Of course, we want to talk about the creative society, and we know that you are already familiar with the foundations of the creative society and stages, especially the article about the foundations and stages of building the creative society. And our viewers can check it on our website, on ALLATRAUnites.com. And to build such a society, we should be united by one vision, our model of the creative society. These goals that can all unite like all people around the countries. And this model can be based on these 8 foundations. So please, let's now watch let's watch a video about the 8 foundations that we'll discuss now. Yes, thanks for technical support. And so what is your view of these foundations, of these principles, and how do you think when implemented they can change your life, our life, and our society at large?
Olga, you know, why I'm so happy is not because of just those programs we're going to achieve. Why I'm so happy is that at the first time in my life, I can confess to this, somebody is thinking a universal goal. I'm sorry to say this. If I don't want to compare the United Nations with this project, but they have tried. They are trying their own best. But can you imagine for how long the United Nations and other institutions have been around, and they have not pushed this kind of universal values? Just imagine that. But that is great because the technology is improving now. The creative society is coming on board to bring something on board that's it's like.
I'm sorry, you're muted now.
Sorry, I'm having a disturbance from the external or internal network. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, so I am so grateful. The first day I came in contact with the creative society, because it's like exactly it brought out all my aspirations and my dreams in one common platform.
We don't hear you again.
Ever. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just
I'm trying
last
to
phrase.
avoid.
You went silent.
All right. I think I said this is the first time a society is coming up to.
I think it's like external, call when.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we are talking just the most interesting moment, and it keeps interrupting us at the most interesting and exciting message we want to hear.
I'm sorry about that, and it's gonna happen. My wife is calling me, so it's okay. She didn't know I am.
She can join us.
I'm sorry about.
She can join us and sit with you together and.
No, she's calling. Yeah, next time we'll do that because I'm not at home. You remember I told you, yeah, I am at work. So if I was at home, I'm gonna show my wife and my kids amazing people. Yeah, they are part of everything I do. So she's part of it. Okay. And my point was, this institution that has come will fulfill what other institutions has not done for a long time. Can you imagine if the United Nations and all those institutions that I have been involved with have had this kind of opportunity to unite mankind, really, regardless of region, regardless of nation, regardless of where anyone comes from, for everybody to live equal, respect human dignity, share the wealth to everyone. This is just the dimension that the creative society has taken. I am already overwhelmed with these things because I know it's going to happen. Because a dream starts just like this. It becomes a thought, it dreams, and then it becomes an idea, and is developed and is going global. So I'm so happy, and for the fact that I am involved, I'm very optimistic that this is a done deal. Even just in my own country, this is going to be implemented very soon, and this is going to be joined with other global goals that has been on. But for me, this is a great deal for mankind because it's like a fulfillment of everything that we have ever wanted. Now it's going to be powered by an international organization that will fight very hard with all her members to implement in every nations of the world. Wow, this is powerful. This is powerful indeed. I am really grateful to be among this solution to the world's problem.
Thank you so much, because really, if we think, this is so natural for us to live in peace, to be friends to each other. It's normal. It's in our nature. Just who told us that we should live some other way and have this wars and everything that destroys us, divides us? I don't agree. I'm a peaceful person. So,
of course, you same here. Go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to ask you, maybe some foundation looked up to you more than other ones, or maybe you want to tell us or your opinion on some of them, some foundations.
Yeah, all the foundations I'm working with, they're actually doing exactly what we are going to do, but in another dimension. For instance, I am the ambassador for Good Deeds Day. We have been operating for a long time, and every year, every day, every month, we do good. It's all about doing good, just like the Creative Society has dreamed to do good. And Good This Day has been around all over the world operating. So it's like another force of Good This Day is coming out called Creative Society, which are another different versions and products that can unite mankind. So I appreciate other institutions that I have been working with, the United Nations Youth Wing, the International Organization on Migration, to stop the migration of the Black Africans, to keep them in Africa, teach them skills and mentor them to stay in their home country, that kind of stuff. And other institutions like International Association for Volunteers Effort, training people to volunteer the time to rebuild their nation, to reconstruct their nation, to volunteer the time to assist mankind freely. So with other institutions that I've been working with, they have a different version of what their message is all about. So to compare them with Creative Society's mission is two different railway. It's like a speed train and a slow train. So what Creative Society is about to do, I am happy with this. You will understand why. Because the goals and the vision and the mission we have from the Creative Society is way different, even with the visions of these other organizations. Apart from the United Nations, which has developed the 17 goals that everyone should pick and do. Yeah, and joining the United Nations right now, the Goods This Day, the EAV, the Global Citizens, and now the Creative Society. This is just another powerful force to push what the world has been yearning for. This time, in reality, that mankind should live in peace and harmony and love and kindness for all man equally, because all lives matters.
And why? Thanks so much. And I'm sorry, Olga, for interrupting. Just this point, I just wanted to mention why the Creative Society is different. Because it is not something instilled from up to down by some politicians, by some, we're not against the United Nations or some political system or so on. We're against consumerism. And this project is something initiated by people, and it is supported by people. It is not funded by anyone, and it is what people have agreed upon, and all the people you cannot find a person who wouldn't agree with the point of the Creative Society with these foundations, because it is really, as Olga mentioned, it is a natural way for our humans to live as a civilization, because we are not even currently a civilization, to become this united humanity. It is like our truly evolutionary way, our next stage of our development as a humanity. And that's why it's so natural, and that's why it is so people it is so happy to see you happy to see it, because we were also so happy meeting this project, and that's why we are so inspired to continue it. That's how it's done.
I forgot to mention that the easiest explanation or the difference between Creative Society and, for instance, the United Nations, in comparison, the difference is it was created by the people, from the people, originally from grassroots, expanding to what is right now. But other institutions, they start with big funding, big offices, big budget, blah, blah, blah. This started from nothing, going to something. This is why I'm so passionate about it, because the Internet Village, my company, started from nothing. As I speak to you, I walk from office to office, going, talking to people, bringing people on board, just like the Creative Society. The people are coming on their own, not companies. I have no budget, I have no proposals, I have nothing. The people are the one that formed the Internet Village. So it becomes a crowdfunding project from the people. And now we are expanding to become a big company that will employ over 100,000 youths online. So this is why I love the Creative Society, because it was founded from grassroots by the people to the world.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And I want to touch another topic. You touched a little bit about education. And in today's world, there are unequal opportunities in every sphere of life. And how important is education to the building creative society? And what, in your opinion, can we do to improve equal access to education?
Okay, sorry. It depends on what you mean by education. I'm sorry, not you, but in a global phase. What we have known as education today is not what like I said, from my ancestral background, that's not what we know as education. Education is not the one we go to the school to learn every day. Education starts from home. It starts indigenously. It starts from your mom teaching you what to do, how to wash, how to clean, how to respect people, how to love one another, how to not abuse humans, how to live moral, how to discipline yourself in public, how to respect one another. So education is internal, not the external one that we go to learn English language, other cultures, blah, blah, blah. So for me, we may have a different notion about education, because as I speak to you, I was never formally or westernly educated. I was educated at home. My mom educated me, my father educated me, my grandfather educated me, the whole village educated me by teaching me everything they know, by telling me the right way to live, by telling me don't do this, do this, by telling me help human, make sure you love all human, make sure you do charity, make sure you join the volunteerism effort to make sure that everyone lives in peace and harmony. I grew up knowing these things without going to school. Now you may wonder how I speak English. Like I said, I have traveled all over the world, educating myself, learning from people, arithmetics, languages. I speak Portuguese. I do these things. I learn these things from different people. So my education comes from experience, from traveling, from listening, from paying attention, from learning, and from learning a skill. If not for my skills today, you may never have me on this platform, because we may not communicate properly. So my Western diversification came from me traveling all over the world, not just because of that. You can be in one place and learn everything I've learned, but I'm so grateful that I went all over to see things by myself without being told. This is why I have a different mentality about what people call education. So in my own ways to raise education awareness, I love the system right now. You have to go to school, primary school, secondary school, university, and having your master's and advanced and all that. That's perfect. That's good if you have the time. But I was not a product of that aspect. But I love it, because if I had it, maybe I would have gone more far. Maybe because a lot of things I have lost in my life is because I never had the Western education. So when I go out, a contract I was supposed to have for $1 million, they don't give it to me. They said, no, we need a PhD, we need a master's degree, we need this, we need that. I said, oh, fine. Then I stopped looking for these jobs. I started working for myself. Today, I employ a master's degree holder. Today, I employ a PhD holder. Today, I employ the highest qualifications of life. And that is the reality. So I am not boasting of employing these people, but I'm telling you that my skill has brought me the education that I needed in order to achieve societal, what's it called, balance. I'm sorry, I don't know some words to use in this things. What I have today, my skill has brought me the knowledge I needed to survive. And as I speak, I am handling hundreds of millions of jobs, that kind of stuff. So the point about education has to be addressed. What is actually the education? It's not this one we go to school to learn. It is from home. Then from home, you expand to primary, where you're going to meet other students and curriculums and all that. And then if after primary, if you are very good, you don't really need a secondary. You don't need that. You don't even need university. If you are good, you can go and get a trade. You can get a trade, you can get a skill that can empower you for the rest of your life. If you want to be indigenous, if you want to expand to international and all that, you can further your education to secondary, to university and whatever, just for your own sake. If you are not the type that use your brain, because life is all about what is here. If you don't use it, regardless of the education you have, it's useless. So, but for time's sake, people can acquire education. It's very, very important. It opens your thinking faculty. It opens your way of reasoning. It opens the way you communicate. It opens a lot. It's good. But for somebody like me, if you can do it without that, why not? So I am an advocate of indigenous knowledge. But then, if you cannot do it, you better go get a real education. And for that to happen, at the Internet Village, we bring people who has dropped out of school. We employ people who has never had education. We employ people who has never had a job experience. We employ people who has never studied. What we do is we train them from grassroots. We teach them the skills. We educate them with our professors. We have graduates, educators in our team. So these people help them to learn from scratch to the highest level they want to go to. Of course, this is not for free because it takes a lot of money to do this. But what we do is, because we have an investment platform, when you invest, that money that you invested can take care of you for the rest of your life. Because you are involved in a crowdfunding project. The crowd funds our project. So education is very, very paramount. It's very, very important. And we push education to the maximum level here at the Internet Village. But even if you don't have the education, come. We will help you to attain your aspirations and your goals in life.
Yeah, so many great points. Thanks a lot. And just answering your question, what do we mean about education? Maybe a more appropriate word would be development of personality. It is one of the foundations of the creative society because it is not necessarily this formal education. Of course, yes, I know English thanks to this formal education, and you know English because of you traveled a lot. But it is like different ways to develop a personality. And this, like when we're talking about education, probably we're talking about the opportunities for every person to develop. If someone wants to study in a family circle, that's awesome. If somebody wants to have a formal PhD, that's awesome. But the point is that opportunities for doing this or that should be like for every person, whatever everyone chooses. And if someone doesn't want to have this formal education, that's okay. That should be a choice. And of course.
Thank you. Yeah, that is where I said, even we employ people that are not ever educated. We don't discriminate. If you have a PhD, perfect. If you have zero education, come to us. That is where we empower. That is what you use the formal word, personal development. We do it here 100%.
Thank you so much. And, you mentioned how important your your father, for example, and mother and your relatives to raise the child in a proper way and give the right knowledge about relationships and everything. And the quality of relationships is essential in any sphere. And how important it is for people to be united by one goal.
Sorry, come again?
Yeah, so how important it is for people to be in right relationships, to be united by one goal, to move towards, to have this union, what unites us all and move towards this goal.
Yeah, it is very, very important. I think we discussed that in the first dialogue, that it is very, very paramount for us in this whole wide world to unite. This is the only way this world can move forward. Let me tell you, I have this mentality of Africanism. But my Africanism or my Pan-Africanism is not about cutting off from the West. No, I don't believe in that. And I have a group of expatriates and graduates and learned educators that are pushing to cut off the West from Africa. That is not what I want for Africa. I want a digital Africa, that Africa can survive on its own. I want a digital Africa that Africa can be on its own. I want a digital Africa that Africa is so empowered that we don't need an interference on our economical and mental health abilities. So for the world to be united, the West has to understand that there are some ways that they can limit whatever they're doing to Africa. Let me use the word Africa. The reason is because the whole center of the world is in Africa. Everybody is coming to Africa, not for just development. I must be sincere with you with this, but so many corporations and governments of the Western world are coming to Africa to take. It's okay. Africa has been feeding the whole world for a long time, but that is not the way forward. The way forward is to really help Africa to advance so that the wide world can unite, because we are not united. The West is fighting, the West is fighting, the South is fighting, the East is against the North. There's no unity in this world. That's why there's war and atomic bombs and airstrikes. There is no love. If we can develop love, let every region be on their own. Let Africa be on its own, Middle East be on their own, the Europe and the Asia and America be on their own, and try to find one common way to unite everyone. That is the way forward for this world. If that doesn't happen, there may never be peace that we want to see in this world. But if every region can be on their own and support other regions from wherever they are, there will be tremendous support, tremendous love and unity for the whole wide world. So I believe we can achieve that. I am an advocate of Pan-African. I'm an advocate of those who love Africa. I love those who said, I want peace in this world. And the only way that we can all move forward is by uniting together, everybody working together, African working with Asians, American working with Europeans, European working with African in a good common goal, not the colonial way. Because the reason why I keep repeating this word is because Africa is not free from the Eurocentric colonialism. We are not free, yet we are mentally bondage to the European ways. Europe has to set Africa free. It's very, very important, because many are brainwashed and they don't understand these things. And when people like us talk, they think we're crazy. We're not. We just know what they don't know. But the truth is, there's peace for the world. There is a hope for the world to. There's hope that we can unite this world through these institutions coming and embracing Africa with all good stuff, not the other way around. As long as the colonization can stop with African minds, then we can really unite as one common big worldwide family. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And what you said about this colonial attitude, it is just what we are talking as a consumerist format. When consumerism is just, it's not just in I'm consuming things and I want to buy a new iPhone. It is like we are consuming people. We are using people as resources. We are using other countries, like the nation of other country, people of the country as resource. We even use the term human resources as like humans are not humans, just a part of resources to create something for other people to consume. And it is just this format that we want to change, and this exactly the point, that something we should move away from it. And so how do you think, what is the role of every person and of every nation in reaching such a society of new format? Like we call it a creative society.
Yeah, is that for me?
Just
Yeah, the
yeah.
greatest way. Yeah, the greatest way to move on. We can be. I am so happy to be part of this. But regardless of how happy I am, and you are nice people. There are other people that are not nice like you, and in their face they might be nice, but in their heart, for Africans, is not really nice. You understand? So the best way that this world can move forward is for the United Nations, the European nations, the Asian nations to stop exploiting Africa. If they stop exploiting Africa and really help Africa, because the truth is, Africa not even know that we have been exploited. The gold reserves, the uranium that you need to make iPhones, the black stones, the gold, the diamonds, the whatever that is coming, that has been manufactured in the whole wide world, comes from Africa. So there's no way we cannot do without the world. We need the world, and the world needs Africa. But the world needs Africa more because everything that has been consumed in this life, a lot of 90% of everything comes from Africa, whether you believe it or not. I may not even give you proof. That is reality. They know very well. So they take all these things, they reserve it for themselves, and they give us change. It's okay. Africans, we don't even complain. I'm sorry, this is not political, but this is the problem of the world. And if we don't address these issues, it may never be resolved. So we cannot jump from A to Z. We have to go step by step. But I, as an advocate, we are launching a project called the Universal Nations of Africa, where we are going to address our governments to address these international issues. This exploitation must stop. Africans must not be allowed to leave Africa. We have to stay in Africa and rebuild Africa. It has to be a mandate from the United Nations, because if they keep allowing us to go out of this continent, which the Africans want to do because they want to sell out Africa, Africa may never unite. And if Africa don't unite, this world can never be in unity. It's very, very important. They must allow Africans to stay in Africa, mandatory, rebuild Africa, then we can go and visit other nations. It's very, very important. I said it very simply. So for this world to unite, they need to stop exploiting Africa, because the more they do the exploitation, the more Africans want to run away from Africa, thinking there is nothing here. Everything is here. We may not know how to develop iPhones, we may not know how to develop cars and all that, but the resources came from Africa, and they take it all for a little penny and bring it back, and we buy it for a big wealth. That's very bad, and it's called mental slavery. We don't know these things. So we really need, as from the creative society, to address this issue. I know we can do it. I have over 54,000 of me operating in Africa. I know that when I tell them to get up and do this, surely we're going to have a fulfillment of a project that is going to work for everybody, because Africa has been exploited for a very long time, and it has kept many of us in bondage because we cannot fight. The reason is because we want to live in peace and harmony, and the best way for that to happen is for the Europe, Asia, and America to stop the African exploitation and help Africa naturally to rebuild, to become that paradise that it has been from the beginning of time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a very powerful speech on behalf of Africa. And I agree with you. Africa is the beautiful place with beautiful people, resources. It's very rich. And, but I also wanted to mention that I think every person in consumer society feels like it's being exploited by government, by, company he's working in, and, so on. And I wanted to ask you, before I ask you, I wanted to mention that it's very important not to be silent. It's very important to talk, to say your opinion, that you don't like it. You don't want it this way. Why does it have to be this way? If we're not comfortable living this way, then why should we be this way, right? But we also want to say that the Creative Society is the peaceful project, and we trying to achieve it by the peaceful means. And we are at informational stage right now when we trying to get every person in the world to hear us and to speak out and to start talking about what world you want to live in and what can we all do actually to achieve this world. So I wanted to ask you, what role of each person, what can each person do to achieve this creative society?
We need to put greed aside. We need to put the problem for the exploitation is because of greed. I'm not blaming America, Asia, or Europe. I don't blame them. I blame the African diasporans. I blame the African government. I blame the African institutions that are not really pro-Africa. I blame those because they only focus on themselves financially. All they care is to secure their living and secure their generations to come. Then they forget about the masses who put them in those positions. So what everybody can do to stop the exploitation is to stop greed. Greed is what has kept billions of African diamonds and gold in Europe and in America, in Asia. Is greed. It's greed, 100% greed. And if we don't address these issues, it's going to really affect us in this world. The world should never suffer. There should not be hunger anywhere in the world. There should not be sorrow and pain anywhere in the world. The diamonds and the golds and the reserves that has been kept somewhere in a cave or in a bank or in a safe. Why? Why is that happening? It's called greed. So I blame all world leaders. I blame the government of my country everywhere, government of African countries, government of the European countries, every government. They are part of this greed. And because this greed continues, the exploitation can never stop. So the only way for us to stop it is to stop the greed and really start helping people to live above the human stability, to start living a normal life and start helping people to achieve their dreams and goals and aspirations and dreams. We must all contribute individually. This has to stop. For instance, what I speak and I do, for instance, I set up a company, a crowdfunding company. I didn't put it in my name. I put it in the name of the village, which is called the Internet Village. So every village that is part of this crowdfunding is part of the owners of this company. So if the company makes $1, the whole village shares this $1. Whatever the company makes, the whole village shares it. This is selfless service. This is what we should be doing. The companies here are exploiting the people. The companies all over the world are exploiting their workers and their staffs. The workers work all their lives. They don't even have a savings. The workers spend their lives working for them. The government system, the same thing all over the world. This has to stop. Every human is entitled to a good life. And if we cannot stop the greed, exploitation will never stop. Because it's the greed that caused the human trafficking. It's the greed that caused the slave trading. It's the greed that caused the reason why people don't have food in their table, and the rich and the elite have food to throw away. It's greediness. Greediness must stop. If that doesn't stop, this life may never be united in one common goal. And we can address it because we know that the majority of the people in this world are living, we have majority of people living just like us. And if we can find this majority of people all over the world, we are over 1 billion of us that are killing good people that want betterment of other people. If we can unite these 1 billion people together to speak out and say enough is enough to the greedy politicians, enough is enough to the greedy government, enough is enough to the greedy companies exploiting the people, enough is enough for those that doesn't want other people to survive. If we don't speak up, it can never happen. So this is why I'm passionate about the creative society. This is why I promise that I will involve my funds, my prosperity, my finance to make sure that creative society goes to the next level, because this is what the world needs to unite as one. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Totally.
Oh, sorry, Olga. I just wanted to say that what I hear and what I understand from what you're saying, that you didn't wait for government to stop being greedy, or politicians, like you said, or, you didn't wait for this to happen. You just started to act locally. You started to do something. You started not being greedy yourself. So you actually, what I hear, that you started from yourself. You wasn't waiting for everybody around to change, right? So this is a great example, actually, and I'm very proud of your speech. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What do you think about ACE Foundation of Creative Society, the self-governing society? What can change electoral platform? What can it bring to our society, making it self-governing?
Sorry, come again. I missed the question.
I can say it again. Yeah, Olga, go ahead.
I think you're breaking up.
There was a sound issue. Okay, just meaning that too often we talk about greed associated with power, greed associated with some people in the government. So with self-governing society, what change can it bring to when we all share responsibility, not giving this responsibility to some individuals, but sharing our resources, sharing our responsibility, and sharing all the benefits. And this is the self-governing society.
Olga, you're breaking up.
Yeah, I think so. But I think I also heard what you said. I think I don't get you clean, but can you hear me?
Yes.
If you can hear me, I think what you're trying to ask is, so what we can do is to achieve, once we achieve the self-governing society, it's easy to achieve. It's easy to achieve. We have to start from grassroots. The truth is, we cannot change some adults. Never. There are some adults you can never change again. There are some politicians you can never change, because greed has spread through their veins like a cancer. So what we do to achieve our self-governing abilities, the advantage we have right now is to train our future generations to stay away from greed, eradicate poverty right now on the surface of the earth, give every man their equal rights as a human, because every human deserves the best lives. Nobody is supposed to suffer, like I said before. If we can start creating the avenue for our upcoming children, teach them the better ways of life, remove every greedy aspect of living from the surface of earth, it can happen. Remove power, authority, minimize the powers that the politicians have. People make governments, people create constitutions, people create manifestos. So we can recreate manifestos of how the government is supposed to function. I have created a manifesto of how the African government will function in my time through the Universal Nations of Africa. I have created that every government must live just like every other person living below the poverty line. When that happens, everybody will work. When you put the government on a stipend, when you put them on salary base, when you put them on normal ways that normal people live, everything is going to change. The reason why we are not being we have not achieved these issues is because the elite refuse to back down. And it's easy. We can control the world with our dream. We can control this world with our aspirations. So we need to get up and write that powerful manifesto, resolution, constitution that will change the government. We write it, we push it to the national assemblies of the world. They must accept it. The creative society has spoken, and everybody, when we unite in millions, we are the owners of this world, not the government. We make the government, we create the politicians, we create those people in power today. So what we need to do is to get up and write again that manifesto that has changed this world to the current elite status quo. We need to remove those elites' privileges and give it to everybody. Everyone must have an equal share, because we human beings are created by one God, that we should be equal in front of any man. Nobody should be above each other. Because of the powers and struggles of authoritization, that is what has kept us in this state of dilemma that we are today. So the best way we can achieve that is by pushing for these global goals to come in force, so that our young generations can stay away from this greed, power-hungry mongers, and ways that are not human. We must learn to live in love with everyone. It's very simple. I don't know why these people make it very difficult. I don't understand.
Yes. Thank you so much. And as a proof to what you said, that we people can do it, I want to mention that a unique online conference, Creative Society, United We Can, united millions of people on December 20th, 2020. And it was translated into 35 languages, which is just makes it so unique, and because it's all volunteers who did it. And, you know, people voiced the realities of today and announced that they want to live in creative society. And in all cultures, there is an image of an ideal world in which people want to live. This is the world that the prophets were talking about. And the time has come when we can make it a reality. How do we take this chance? So I'm inviting everyone to meet on March 20th, 2021 at the international online event Creative Society, What the Prophets Dreamed of, initiated by the participants of the Creative Society project. And this is the day when the world will unite to find out the whole truth. And please join us and all humanity and pass on this information about this amazing conference. And I would like us to watch the trailer to this upcoming event.
Unprecedented event of present history. Initiative that comes from people around the world. Main project of humanity. People stopped being silent about urgent issues of our society. How it all started. May 2019, International Online Conference, Society, The Last Chance. 140 countries of the world, hundreds of thousands of people online, hundreds of broadcast platforms, translated into 7 languages simultaneously. If we all want to live in peace, why do we have a world of violence and destruction? It is up to us to build a different world. How can we do it? December 2020, Creative Society, United We Can. 180 countries of the world, millions of people online, thousands of streaming platforms. 35 languages simultaneously translated. People have voiced today's reality and what they truly desire. And it is the Creative Society. All cultures have an image of the ideal world people want to live in. a world that prophets talked about. The time has come when we can make it real. How will we use this chance? Let's meet March 20th, 2021, 3 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time and 10 a.m. Eastern Time. International online event of global scale. Creative Society, what the prophets dreamed of. This is the day the world will unite to find out the truth. Join the entire humanity and spread the message.
Yes, it is just in 10 days from today.
Yeah.
Yes, so we are
I can't wait, and I am investing. I'm investing, promoting, propaganding, reaching the whole world through all my platforms. I have over thousands of followers all over the world. I'm happy, and this is going to reach everybody that I know. And I am going to do more. I am partnered with Facebook, with YouTube, with TikTok, with every social platforms, and I'm going to do everything that I can within my skills, my knowledge, to get millions of followers for this project, because we need everybody on board.
Yes, we need just waiting for you to say this phrase. It was meant to be our topic. And of course, and many things that you've shared today are so about the creative society. And it just proves that this project is so natural. It is so necessary, and it is so important for all of us, whatever country we are living in today. And please, everyone who watches us now or will watch later can find information about the project on our website, ALLATRAUnites.com. You can find also the article that describes the 8 foundations and stages of the creative society. And we also want to just remind you that our broadcasts follow the theory of 6 handshakes. And this theory says that for example, between me and you, there are not more than 6 social connections. And so using this theory, we ask every guest of our broadcast to invite some of friend, relative, co-worker, just any person you can invite to our future broadcast, someone who would also be happy to learn about the creative society and share this idea. So if you would like, you can share a name now or later, as you wish.
Do you have anyone you would like to see in our broadcast and to talk about creative society? And you can join too.
You mean now or later on?
No, later. Like, who do you see in our future broadcast? Who would you like to invite to our next broadcast? Where you can join also, co-host?
In my country or global?
It really doesn't matter. Anyone you may know, and
okay.
You want to see this person talking about creative society in our program.
Yeah, so I have a lot of people. I will not mention names, and a lot of people already asking me, because I've done some promotions on my social account about the creative society. So people are asking me, you are global every time. What is this one now?
Yeah, you can share it later.
I'm gonna go back to them and say, now this is it now. So come on, we need you all. So I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Who we're gonna invite next? I have a lot of celebrities who are humanity-minded, focused. I have a lot of volunteers and great young people that will love what I'm doing and they want to be part of it. So we're gonna have a lot of people from here, myself, and in the Gambia, joining us anytime soon after today's publication. If I have reminded or invited them, they would have been online with us now, because they go everywhere I go, because they know I am for humanity.
Thank you so much, and thank you for today's conversation. It's remarkable, and thank you for your time, for joining us and talking about creative society. And I want to ask you the last question. What do you wish to our viewers? What is it? What's your message?
Come again?
What do you wish to all the viewers that are watching us right now?
Oh, I wish everyone peace, love, and kindness. Listen, we're all human beings and we make mistakes. We sometimes get angry because we are humans. In each one of us, we have good and bad characters, and nobody is beyond this. Even me, myself, I can get angry with anybody, but we try to have a humility spirit to control ourselves whenever we are in a deep sense of trouble. So I wish every human to be in peace. There should be no war. There should be no hatred. There should be no insults. There should be no fighting. Why should that happen? So it's because of misunderstanding that these things happen. So we need to try and hear each and every one of us and try to understand each other and eradicate this poverty of the mind, because every human deserves a better life. So I call upon everyone listening to us, if you have not joined yet, join and stand up for mankind, because everyone deserves an equal right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and from us, from our team, and from all of our viewers for your kind words and everything you shared. And I just want to remind our viewers that it is easy to join the project of Creative Society. If you'd like to be our future guest or you have any suggestions, please, you can write to our email info@allatraunites.com. You can visit our website allatraunites.com and read more about the project, and also please click the red button, join us. And with this button you can fill a very short and easy form saying that you support the Creative Society, and the sooner we all do this, we support it, the sooner we can move on to the next stage and actually start implementing it, and because we want to live in the Creative Society. Thanks to everyone.
Yes. Thank you
so much,
guys.
Thank you so much for everything. And when we finish, our viewers will be able to listen to the Creative Society song, which volunteers wrote, and you can listen to it too. Thank you so much. We're saying bye to you right now, and please join us again and bring your friends.